friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to do a bookshelf tour. I know, I've been promising you one forever, but it is summer vacation now for me since I'm a teacher, and I figured I have the time. Why not film one? The reason why it's taken me so long is the idea of pulling every single book off of my shelf or having to have my bookshelf perfect has like plagued me since like the idea for a bookshelf tour like even existed. So I'm doing mine a little bit different. I'm going to do it kind of vloggy style. I'm going to show you my books. I'm going to give you a chance to read the titles if you're super duper interested. I do have a stack of books over here that are not on my bookshelf. I'll show you those. And I'm just going to show you the books on my bookshelf, like tour you around my bookshelf. So I'm going to start by just saying that this right here is my new books that I am going to be hauling this month. These are books that were previously on my shelf, but I have read this month. So haul pile, read pile, as the stickies say. So here's just a basic overview of my shelves. I have two of the Billy bookcases from IKEA, and how I divide my bookcases, the one on the left over here is standalones and the one over here is for series. So let's see, we'll start at the top. Don't see any of the spines. These are my Patricia Cornwell books, and that's how I have them if they are part of a series and they have not been read yet. Now, obviously, I have read some of them, but I don't remember which ones, and I want to reread the entire series starting at book number 1, which would obviously be right here, and it's post-mortem, and then they go chronologically this way as publication date. So I have all of them up until Depraved Heart, and at the top there I did show you guys that before, but it is a candle that is meant to look like a bronze bust of an Indian or indigenous person. Next, we will start over here with my standalone shelf, and as you can see, well, my standalones, basically my red starts here and it goes to here and it goes to here. So I did like a rainbow starting here on the third shelf with Night Film, Bad Romance, Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and Maybe in Another Life. Then I moved on to oranges with A Couple Next Door and When Dimple Met Rishi, and then I put Layover in there. So these are the books that I have read. Now right here is just a little stack of books that I put there that I have not read, that I figured it looks cute there with the little decoration on top, and they're like the little books that don't really like fit anyway. So those are some of my red standalones. Now we pop up here. These are my blues into purples and pinks and stuff like that, and then a couple that wouldn't fit like up there with the other colors. So over here we have A Little Life, which, oh my gosh, Dietland, Little Fires Everywhere, The Woman in Cabin 10, The Woman in the Window, Fangirl, The Unexpected Everything. So as you can see, Cold Summer, Starry Eyes, The Astonishing Color of After, Landline, and then up here we have our last red standalone shelf. It's like pinks and whites and gray, and then it goes into black. So yeah, those are the books on my standalone shelf that I have read, other than that little stack right there on the end. So down here are my standalones that I have not read. So essentially like my TBR shelf. So here, here, and here. Things to note, I do have the Alice in Wonderlands edition, and I do have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and The Wonderful Wizard of Oz right there on the end that I'm probably not going to read for a while. But I also put Renegades by Marissa Meyer back on my shelf, even though I DNF'd it temporarily. I think I'm going to give it a second shot. But here is my first TBR shelf. It has some good things on there, including The Goldfinch and Vincent and Theo. I really want to read Want. And then my second TBR shelf. So I have like my taller hardbacks here, shorter hardbacks, and then paperbacks on the bottom, if you're wondering how I organized that. So there's a shot of that one. This one, I love how it's like so colorful towards the end here. And then down at the bottom are all of my paperbacks that I want to read. Now this shelf over here, I kind of just set this back there yesterday because I did take some books off of the shelf and I did kind of redo my Harry Potter shelf. I used to have like all of my Funkos and all of my Harry Potter stuff here, but I just took it off and like I needed room, and now I have room here. You can see I have room here and here because like I'm gonna need room to put all of those books back on these shelves, so I was really concerned about space. So let's go back into the tour. So up here I have the books kind of shoved back, but I have The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet. Remember, on this shelf, if the spine is not facing, that means it's part of a series that I have not read yet. So obviously this is books 2 and books 3. And the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. Then I have the Firebird series. Then I have To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. I have the Shiver, the Wolves of Timber Falls trilogy, the Raven Boys trilogy, the Wrath and the Dawn duology. So I haven't read the Wrath and the Dawn, Every Hearted Doorway, the Wayward Children series. Okay, so this is where I have Harry Potter's 1, 2, and 3 illustrated. I have 2 of the coloring books right here. And then I've only read books 1, 2, and 3 of the Harry Potter series. So I still need to read 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I used to have my Mortal Instruments at the top, but now I have moved them down here. So I've only read City of Bones, and I have all of the other books here. I used to have 2 copies of City of Bones, but I kept the one that matched the box set. Down here I have more series, and if they're facing backwards, that means I have not read it yet. So I have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and then I have the Bone season series. Books 1 and 2 I've read, 3 I haven't. You and Hidden Bodies is backwards. And then, oh, I actually have this backwards because I have not read this one, but I've read these. So I'll actually need to change that. Okay, so that's better because I've obviously read Me Before You and After You, and this is the newest release, Still Me. And then I have Caraval here. I really want to get Legendary, but I don't have it yet, but it is one of those tall hardbacks, so I have that there. And then I have the Lunar Chronicles and the Kiss of Deception, the Remnant Chronicles trilogy right there. And then down here, this is where my shorter kind of series go. So I have the Winter Circle trilogy. I have still not read the 3rd book. And then I have a couple of books that I only have the first one of, like Scythe, and let's see what this is. Oh, what is it called again? It's Ray Carson, Walk on Earth, A Stranger. The Graces, Warcross, which those are, I only have the first book in the series, but I've read them. And then the Shatter Me original trilogy and novellas, and then Restore Me I haven't read yet. And now I used to have my Vampire Academy series like at the very top with my City of Bones Mortal Instrument series, but I've read Vampire Academy, and then I have the rest of the books, and I almost unhauled them because I was like, am I really really interested in reading them, and I think I still am. So then I have the Hunger Games, obviously, and underneath Under the Never Sky trilogy, which I just don't think I can ever get rid of because I used some quotes out of this trilogy in my wedding vows. Like, that's how much I loved it. Okay, down here, it gets a little crazy. These are kind of what was left, like, you know, what didn't fit on this shelf. So I have some of my like new adult, romance, erotic stuff down here. First Touch and Last Kiss, which is so obvious that they don't match now. And then I have the Tears for Tess trilogy. I've only read books 1 and 2, 50 Shades of Grey, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm borrowing my friend's copy of Grey, but I still haven't read it and she hasn't asked for it back, so I'm just kind of keeping it. The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. I'm still waiting for more books in this series. I want it to be a series. The Girl on Fire and Thorns, I only have the first book, and yeah, so I just put it there. And then I have my copies of The Giver. And so I have my box set that my dad bought me right here that has the map. I have, this is the illustrated one right here. This is the movie cover tie-in. This is a copy of The Giver that I actually read and I got for free at the book exchange, or no, the book thing in Baltimore, Maryland. And then that is just an extra copy of Gathering Blue, which I purchased before I even got the box set. Now, in this tub right here, I'm not going to go through it right now, but this little metal pull-out thing is where I have all of my poetry, and I have like my bookish patches in there. But I still think that cover is so weird. And then down here I have some manga and graphic novels, and I know it's not a lot, but I'm glad to have that empty space right here. So I have The Complete Cheese Sweet Home parts 1, 2, and 3. Then I have The Babysitter's Club, and Drama, A Monster Calls, Nimona, El Defo, Marbles, V for Vendetta. And then I have Sagas 1, 2, whoa, it was weird. I was looking at it, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I have the Rat Queens Volumes 1 and 2. I have Princeless Save Yourself Volume 1. And then I have, you can barely see it, but it's Edward Scissorhands Parts Unknown Part 1, or Volume 1. And then The Last Man, also Volume 1. My bookshelf tour. I hope you have enjoyed. I know it's probably a little bit different than other bookshelf tours. I see a lot of people taking all the books off their shelf, but I just thought like walking you through it and kind of showing you, and you can like recognize spines and like read titles and stuff like that. But if you have any further questions, please let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Also, if you ever have any questions, I would like to do a Q&A this summer. So leave them in the comments, tweet me on Twitter, things like that. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, my bookshelf tour is done. My bookshelf tour is done. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye!